The following is a Live the Dream Media production.
Good morning, Marana, Arizona.
Yes.
Happy Monday. Happy Monday. And I hope all you mothers out there had an incredible Mother's Day. I think we delivered on our end, you and I.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
We did.
You guys went to Gilbert.
We did. Yeah. Wife's brother came back from his mission and got to do his speech about his mission at church, and then he was finally like out of the mission field. So he's pretty pumped.
Yeah, ready to get back to the real world, building his future.
You know, the great thing about traveling around on a Sunday was there was no traffic. It was pretty awesome.
You know what?
We drove.
I know school is out a few places around town, but man, I could get out this morning pretty easy at 7:30 to head this way. Normally, I just would speedway. But
all the seniors are already chilling. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. They're chilling in the left lane, by the way. Yeah, good Mother's Day. Great. Hey, a big shout out to Rich and the crew over at Westward. They did it upright, man. I really appreciate it. So, Richard, if you're listening, you nailed it, buddy. You did an excellent job. Beautiful brunch. They had everything.
The Mother's Day brunch, you were there for that.
Awesome. They had everything. They got everything, man.
Yeah.
It was really good. A lot of fun. Rented a few friends while we were there. That was pretty cool. So
you always run into friends.
We do, don't we?
Yeah. You more.
Yeah.
I'm a little more reclusive than you are, and I get chewed out for that every once in a while. But I have my
relationships,
reasons.
David. You got to work at them.
I have my reasons.
David.
I do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. There.
You know what? That's incorrect. I'm gonna push back on you. You can't go anywhere, David. People know you. You can't go anywhere. No. I'm with you. You know, it's like you have your little autograph sessions.
Oh,
you got
stop it.
Your fans.
Hey, let's talk about this market. We were just before the show.
Beautiful.
What does the legacy media talk about?
Yeah,
now?
I don't know. I don't know. It was. You could see that coming over the weekend, and I follow that kind of stuff pretty close. They were meeting in Geneva. I'm talking China and the USA. They got pretty. You could just feel it coming out of there. And it's from all sides. Everybody's reporting the same thing. We're close. The tariffs, the Chinese tariffs before this started were 125%. Today, right now as we speak, they're 10. United States had upped theirs to 145. We're down to 30. But think about that. We've been paying, I don't know how long, but 125% tariff to the Chinese. Now we're at 10. That's huge. That's why the market's just exploded this morning. Now, we said off camera a minute ago, and I'm gonna throw it in here right now. Look, there's a way to avoid all this tariff stuff. Shop local. And I gave a great example, or at least I think. You got Vera Oral premium beef down there at Sonoyta. Mm-hmm. I saw Dan Mari's was doing tacos with Vera Earl. Westward, look where we eat pretty regular, Vera Earl. Old Pothole, Vera Earl. The list just goes on and on. They're supplying a lot of meat. So shop local. How about shopping at the thrift stores, the secondhand stores? There's no tariffs on that. And you and I are big into buying used when it comes to cars and things like
100%.
that. What's wrong with buying new? I'll give you a good example. We got a brand new grandbaby. Mm-hmm. She's 9 days old today. But when Tammy and I were raising children, Tammy found a secondhand store in Phoenix. I think it was called Other Mothers or something like that. And they would sell baby clothes like once a month for a quarter a piece. Now this was 30. Our baby turned 32 the other day. So it's 32 years ago. You know this, having smaller children. Children's clothing, they don't wear them out. They outgrow them.
Quick.
Now they might mess them up with their bodily functions occasionally
Yeah.
and ruin a pair, ruin clothes. But they don't wear them out. They outgrow them. Little babies. Why are you honestly? Why are you buying baby clothes or baby shoes and stuff at $30 and $40 and $50 and $60 an outfit when you can buy it for $1?
Well, because it looks like you achieved something.
Well, most of these have tags still on
Or you
them,
look
David.
cool. Well, I've seen like kids. And hey, it teaches your own. If this is what you want to do, if you want to spend
100%.
you want to spend $100 on some Jordans
Go
for
for
your child,
Go for
by all means, don't be crying and saying that you're broke later. The cool thing that we do, and I know a lot of people do that, but we have like a community of our friends that we're all close with. And we all have kids around the same age, and we just do the clothing exchanges because some of them are older and some of them are younger.
Yep.
And you just take care of each other, and rarely do we ever buy new clothes. I think the only thing we ever have to buy new is like swimwear, different things like that. But
you know what's cool about that too, David? Right in the theme with Local Marana, that's strengthening community.
Yeah.
Right there. In this case, primarily mothers are getting together and swapping clothes and no doubt sharing stories and maybe giving each other advice or opinions on parenting. To me, that's community. That's what Local Marana is all about, by the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the reason why we're off on this tangent about money and secondhand stuff is that's how you can avoid so many of the problems that we have as a society.
Yeah,
is by working together locally. I think that's the biggest thing that I have seen changed in my nearly 7 decades. Is we used to be really community oriented. Everybody had a front porch. And we worked together as a community, as a family, as the people lived, in that family environment, community environment, and now we don't. And I'm guilty of it. Cruise straight home, you hit the garage, you go in the backyard, you got the fences. There is no front porch to speak of anymore. And that's why Local Marana, that's why basically David created Local Marana, for those that aren't familiar with this, about 3 or 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was for a source or resource for local activity. This one specifically for Marana.
Yeah. Hey, tie it into the Marana thing before I jet out and we bring in your awesome guest that you have today.
Stick around. We got Manny and Joe.
We had this platform, This is Marana, for a while, and it's still around. So what we've done is we've started working on something called Move. It's the Marana Oral Valley Experience. And what we are doing is we are creating an integrated website and social platform that highlights things to do in the area outside of municipal ran entities. And it's a great concept, and it's fun, and it's really cool because the resorts are getting involved. And we're going to get more stuff put into it, but it's going to be a fun thing to share. We're going to be sharing businesses, local stuff. This is stuff that's in Marana, stuff that's in Oro Valley, just so when folks come and visit, they have another resource to go to of some things maybe they didn't hear about, or some discounts they didn't know about, or places to stay, hotel-wise, resort-wise, that maybe they weren't considering, so that this region's highlighted a little bit better. And it's fun, so if you haven't followed them yet, go follow MOV Experience on Facebook and on Instagram. The Instagram, it used to be Marana Foodie. We've since changed it to the MOV Experience because we wanted to highlight more of the area instead of just one.
Right.
And also, there's not a lot of restaurants in the area right now. There's some coming, which is really exciting, but we figured we better do a broad resource instead of just a closed thing. So I just wanted to share that before I jet out today.
Yeah,
Clint.
and to kind of put a bow on that particular statement about Move, it's also for all those things you just mentioned. But
there's a whole other part of it.
There's another component to that, and really the underlying component is to get those two communities that we love. I live in Marana, sleep in Oro Valley. To bring them together more, because there hasn't been that what's the word I'm looking for, David? There hasn't been that fluid of mutual growth together, because they're really interdependent on each other, whether they realize it or not. When I say that, I'm talking about leadership.
Yeah.
And one more quick thing, and this is not Marana, this is Oro Valley, but we've had a little issue with the what's a big issue? the Marana Police Department or the Oro Valley Police Department and the town. And I think it's getting worked out, but actually kind of behind the scenes now.
Mm-hmm.
But if you live in the community, Oro Valley, Northwest at all, this should be important to you. Public safety is number one in my book on any municipality as far as the services that community offers to its citizens. So stay involved in that. You'll see it all over the Live the Dream Media network, a lot of information about that.
Yeah.
So you got anything else before you go?
I just want to say before I go, listeners and patrons of Live the Dream Media, it is a network, and there are a lot of free voices that are on this network. And these free voices do not dictate the full identity of what we do. And it's important to remember that in this space there is entertainment, but there's also facts, there's truth, and not everything is fun to hear. And it can suck sometimes. But I do want to encourage folks to listen and be open-minded and just know that there's a bigger objective in all of this, right? This is the new medium where people talk and have conversations. We've seen things happen that people had different they're approaching different things with a different ideology. And it's been discussed on air and been recorded, and awesome things have happened from it. We've seen some really cool stuff happen from things being discussed at the studio. And I just want to encourage people to know that there's so much more to Live the Dream Media than just one show, right? There's a whole bunch of shows. There's a whole bunch of entertainment coming out of here.
And can I tell you, I'm going to add this. There's a lot more. We've just started a new radio station. It's called Your Digital Revival Network. Mm-hmm. It's a spiritual-based component. We've got a leadership program that we're putting together. By fall, we'll be doing, and it's incredible.
Yeah,
the people that we've attracted, I guess, for the lack of a better word, are just some incredible human beings that love their community. They love each other.
Yeah,
and we want to build better leaders,
right?
And challenge each other.
And we don't do that, Clint. And I'm going to just share it with people. We don't do that by trying to classify and categorize everybody into certain
or living
pieces.
in an echo chamber where we're all just, everybody singing the same chorus and the same song.
Yeah.
We push each other,
mm-hmm.
and it's okay. It's don't make it personal, by the way. If you start making this personal,
yes,
yeah, we got a different. But as long as you're challenging the status quo with facts,
mm-hmm.
I'm good with that. Are you?
I love it.
Okay.
Hey, I Live the Dream Media has no problem being called out for something that we get it all the time. We get feedback all the time. And we don't go, no, we go, all right, how do we fix this? It's the first thing we go is like, how are we going to fix this?
Hey, call us out. We're good.
Yeah. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you on your show, on the show today.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving me a couple minutes to join you today.
Yeah.
Let's get your guests on here.
Joe and Manny are coming up right after this break. Can't wait to get these young men in the room. We're going to have a lot of fun. They're neighbors of ours. Take us to break, Shay. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Looking for the best outdoor patio in Tucson? Look no further than St. Philip's Plaza at the southeast corner of River and Campbell, where you can sip on Tucson's finest collection of whiskey at Union Public House, brunch 7 days a week at Reforma Modern Mexican Mezcal and Tequila, and experience our newest restaurant, Proof, proudly serving house-made pasta and artisanal pizza. Enjoy live music and dine under the stars with Union, Reforma, and Proof. Join us at St. Philip's Plaza.
Hi, this is Sean McCluskey, co-owner and designated broker for Rincon Ventures. If you're a rental owner by choice or by accident and you're looking to hire or change property management companies, consider Rincon Ventures. We employ an aggressive web-based advertising strategy to market your rental. We thoroughly screen prospective tenants and conduct routine property inspections. Our online system gives tenants the ability to pay rent and file maintenance requests instantly over the web. Our owners can use the same system to instantly check on their properties. Call Rincon Ventures at 881-2258 or visit us on the web at rvprop.com.
80% of those that have been incarcerated have been in foster care. So that's crazy to think that 8 out of every 10 inmates, male or female, have touched the foster care system. So if we can break the cycles that cause the foster care system to even be in existence, we're going to change society.
At GAP, I found love.
I found family.
It means hope. It was almost like I had a family away from my own family. At GAP, I found home.
Hello, and we are back. And again, post Mother's Day. Hope you all had a great Mother's Day, mothers. What would we be without you guys? I know. In my case, probably not much. I had a great. This was unfortunately my first Mother's Day without my mother, and so that made it a little bit kind of like
Sorry to hear that, brother.
Surreal in a little bit. But I've got a great wife who's been a great mother to my children, and we have a brand new grandbaby. So she was born a week ago Saturday, so that's the life cycle continues. So this morning I have the distinct privilege being with my neighbors, Joe and Manny from the barber studio.
Yes, sir.
Good looking skin. So introduce yourself, Joe.
My name is Joe Ramos, owner of the barber studio. Been cutting hair for too long. 28 years.
How many?
28.
28. Would you start when you were 6?
Started when I was 14.
I think you told me that.
Yeah. 15, and my parents let me have a full barber shop in the back of my house.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Every single afternoon and weekend cutting hair.
That is amazing. You didn't tell me that. My barber. I don't go. I go to my buddy across the street. He started cutting when he was 14.
Yeah.
Like cutting. Manny, introduce yourself, my man.
My name is Emmanuel Menchaca.
Pull a
I go
little
by
closer.
Chaka the barber. I work with Joe, and I've been working about maybe 14 years as a barber as well. Probably about 14, a little over 14.
Again, would you start at 8? I mean, come on. Did you start cutting your?
Probably 20.
You start cutting your homie's hair there when you were in high school?
No.
Because you did.
No, I started at the barber school. That was the first time ever holding a pair of clippers, and I was terrified.
Yeah. You're not terrified anymore, though, are you?
No,
You just
I'm
go in
not
there and do it with your
terrified
eyes closed.
No more terrified.
Look at this. I can do this with my eyes closed, Mom. Come on.
I've done it.
These guys,
You've
so,
done it?
I've done a haircut with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
Just to prove it.
yeah.
Just to prove it.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to start right there because David brought this up. This is cool. You just opened the door, and I'm like, well, I don't even think we need to talk about that. But you know what? AI, everybody's talking about AI replacing jobs and stuff. I guess you could cut hair. I mean, hair could be cut with a robot. I guess it could be. They're going to hold you by the neck and right. But that's not something you guys are discussing over there at the barber studio. That at some point a robot's going to replace you guys, right?
I don't think I've seen any kind of advancement that has me worried about it. And even then, I still have to have a shop for them to come to. If I can open a shop and I can have 10 robots cutting hair,
Yeah.
I'll do it.
No, not cutting Manny. Manny gets the front chair.
Don't worry, I'll be the manager. Man. I'll go to tech school
You're gonna be
to make sure those robots are working good.
I'll do that all day long. Like, hey, if I don't got to cut hair and I just come in and make money,
Yeah.
so
no,
be it.
none of us are pros to that, are
I still have to have a place to
we?
go to.
Yeah. Somebody's got to sweep it up when it's off.
I'll get
So
a
what was
sweeper
the
robot?
What was the circumstances behind cutting hair, giving a haircut with blindfolded?
Oh, just someone that said, like, can you cut hair with your eyes closed? I was like, well, we could try. Like, I've done it so long. I was like, all right. So we did that. I grabbed the bandana, covered my eyes, and I was like, all right. I was like, let's see where this goes. If it looks bad, it's free. If it looks good, you're paying me. And we just went for it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was simple. It was a 3 on top. The whole hard part is the blend, and I did it. And it looked okay. I mean, I did a couple finishing touches at the very end, but this just becomes so automatic.
Yeah, the muscle memory. I call it that all the time. Getting your reps in.
Yeah.
Getting your reps in. Here, get your reps in. In that room, especially, get your reps in. You do something often. I think the old saying is do something 10,000 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably going to master that. And I think that's where most people miss out.
I've never thought about how many hours we've done this. I've never sat down and
Well,
counted that.
I guarantee you, with 28 years, you probably got 30,000 hours. I don't know. I mean, if you do the math, I mean, You what do you work? 40, 50 hours a week? Certainly now, I would think you're at
I
that.
think I'm blessed enough now that I can do 40 hours.
Okay.
But in those 40 hours, I do a lot of haircuts. Like,
Okay, that's
let's say-
$2,000 a year with 2 weeks off for vacation, and we're just rounding stuff off.
Yeah.
So $2,000. So in 28, you haven't done that for 28 years, obviously.
No.
But let's say
Professional
you've done it
since-
15 years.
Yeah.
That's 30,000 hours,
Wow.
right? And
I
you've
guess
been
you're
in
right
business
about it.
15 years, so at some point, or 14 years, right?
Just about, yeah.
So you're somewhere in that. You're in that mix too.
Well, I mean, it takes a long time just to get to where you're at.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that how many hours you have to put in just to be able to get the clientele you have now. It takes almost a decade, to be honest.
Years.
Yeah, it takes
Yeah,
it takes a very long time to get to where you want to be able to be, I don't know, comfortable. If you want to talk about it. But we're never comfortable, though. We're always going. We're always continuing as best as we can. Our backs are hurting. Our feet are hurting all the time.
Well, you're getting older too. That's
Yeah.
not. That's only gonna trust me from experience. That's going to happen more frequently. The older you get, the less. I talk about it all the time, especially with people my age. I'm like, the only real difference between me now and say 25, and I'm 67, is I kind of feel the same and think the same. I'm hopefully a little wiser, but it's my body. I'm not running up and down. Matter of fact, some friends are starting to play basketball again, and I'm like, yeah, I might play with you, but I don't think we're going to do full court.
Can we play half court?
And give me to the fall to get ready for that.
Man, this guy wants to play pickleball.
I love pickleball.
That's a big deal. I'm not into
I'm
it.
the only
but
Mexican-
That's a big deal, especially
I'm
with
the only
older
Mexican
people.
out there, but I'm playing pickleball.
Oh, my kids. They're not maybe so much now, but they were really into that. Well, my kids moved to Boise, and my son's still here. But they were the pickleball partners, the three of them. So
It's fun. It's. I was telling him it's easy cardio, which I need. I went from 178 to 164 in 2 months, with like cutting out
recently,
sugar.
right?
Yeah,
I can tell
yeah.
by looking at you.
Yeah.
You've shed. I didn't think about it till now, but
Yeah.
you shed a couple of pounds.
But I can't do a lot of cardio. Ever since my heart attack, I can't do a lot of cardio. I just can't take off.
How old were you when you had your heart attack?
39, and then he had one like about the same time, huh?
Yeah, it was a minor one. A TIA. I forget the term.
Yeah,
for
mine
it.
was a minor one too.
Still, you had
But,
one.
yeah.
That's
So if
super
anybody,
young.
he understands how hard it, and he puts in work. He's doing jujitsu and working out with what's his name? With this gym?
Word Physique.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he's
good
working out
people.
with him. He's working with Joe
people.
at the wrestling place too. He's gonna be training with him. He's putting in work. I can't get to that level yet.
Yeah.
It stresses me out.
And somehow the stomach still stays the same. I can't seem to bring it down.
It's called big boned where I come from. You're big boned.
Big bone.
You know, my buddy, who will be here later today, he's part of the revival package. He's a jiu-jitsu guy, and he trains next door, and he loves it. It's just his bag. I love to get up in the morning and fight.
Oh, I love it. It's a stress reliever, to be
Yeah.
honest. You know, like
Yeah.
when people go to the gym, you know,
Yeah.
they just love the workout.
Yeah.
But it's for me, jiu-jitsu in general, it kind of
Have you-
have it a little more personal.
Been doing it a
feel to
while. Yeah, it's very personal.
On and off. Life gets in the way all the time. Obviously, on and off. But hey, you know, it's
How long you
it's
been
part of
doing
life. Well, unfortunately, I'm still at a white belt for almost 2 years now.
Okay,
You
well.
know, life, just life
Yeah,
gets in the
yeah,
way.
yeah.
But hopefully, pretty soon, I got to just make myself work into that blue belt. The next
What belt
step.
you want? I'll buy you whichever one you want.
Yeah.
No, I need to earn it. You
gotta earn it.
You gotta earn it.
Kind of like
That's a
making
big
money.
one.
You making money's illegal. That's
You gotta
called
put in the
counterfeiting.
time.
You got to earn that stuff. You know, in pickleball, I see tennis courts being converted to pickleball courts all over the place, especially in the more senior retirement communities.
I've seen
They're
that.
done with that. They're done with that tennis. Now we're going to play pickleball.
Tennis takes a lot of skill. Because I got into tennis and I don't know if it was just me, but I found it pretty easy. But once you start playing people that are more advanced than you have to step it up. Pickleball, we beat a couple the other day that's been playing for 10 years. And they're like, oh yeah, with $300 paddles and stuff. And like we beat them. It's I think it's easier to pick up.
Yeah.
It's a good, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's a good playing field. It's an even playing field. It's smaller.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
as hard. You're not going to get
Yeah.
hit with a ball as fast.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I like it. I
not playing.
highly recommend it.
Yeah. I'm not going to do that. Kind
Go
of like
play
golf.
something.
Kind of like golf. I'm surrounded by golf courses.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no. Yeah, no. And you know, the crazy thing is I was a decent golfer when I did go out and play. And I haven't played in 40 years. I have no desire. I love golf courses. They're beautiful. Greens and the water and the well manicured yards and stuff. That's awesome. It's just boring for me.
Yeah.
I'm a baseball guy. Basketball, football, baseball. I'm a baseball guy. Anybody that knows me. So what I want to know is, how'd you guys meet? Where'd you guys meet? How long you guys known each other?
We met each other at Pavilion's barbershop. We were working there together. When was that? 3, 4 years ago?
4, maybe 4, a little over 4 years
like
ago.
4 yeah, like 4 years
Almost
ago.
5, actually. Almost
Pavilion's barbershop on Cortaro and I-10. Good group of people. But you know, we left. He left. He was up here across the street with Phil. That's where you go with Phil?
I go with Zach.
Who's Zach?
Oh,
R&Z.
okay. So not
I think
okay.
maybe is his old. Is it there by like where the old Walmart used to be? The sporting goods. There by McDonald's in that plaza.
No. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
He was by the laundromat one. The one that's by the laundromat. By the Dutch
right here.
Brothers. Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. And I wasn't really planning on leaving anytime soon. But when this opportunity came along, when I heard Mike was getting rid of it, it was just one of those things of, do I want another shop?
Yeah.
I've had 2 before in Colorado. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna jump at it. Like, it's nice.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you did. I was thinking this morning. We've been in the plaza 20 years, but actually we've been in business 20 years. We've been in the plaza over 17 years, and I knew Mike, the previous owner. Mike, the previous owner,
and then Russ
but before him,
that.
Russ, and that shop has been there since '92. I think it was
93.
93.
Mm-hmm.
It was on the door.
Yeah.
I misremembered.
It's gone
that.
now.
It's gone now. Well, your new skin looks really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you just get that put up?
Yeah, innovative signs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't noticed that. I'm not back there like I used to be.
Yeah.
But I noticed it the other day. I was walking across. I'm like, that looks really good. Yeah. But I can say this, having been here in this plaza 17 going on 18 years. And no disrespect to anybody, that barbershop was just, you could see it was just petering out, for the lack of a better word. And it never had the vibe you guys had, at least in my time.
Mm-hmm.
It was just never that vibe. I think probably a lot of it was older guys kind of doing older style. You guys are younger cats. Your clientele's younger. Just everything about it feels like a different vibe. And you're great for the neighborhood. It's really awesome.
We still have a lot of the older clients that used to come before, and I love that. I love having the older clientele because nobody has better stories. Nobody has better advice.
Yeah.
They'll tell you. They'll tell you what they did wrong, what they did right, and you kind of pick and choose and you live your life.
Oh, don't mean to bring it back a little bit. That's why it's actually a little better than AI.
Oh, 100%.
Conversation.
You know what I'm saying?
No, that's great. That's a good.
You know what I mean?
That's a
So
good
you
point.
can either like okay, I want to bring it into a little too personal about this. You know, with mental health.
Yeah.
You know, the reason why a lot of men go to barbershop is because they need somewhere to someone to talk to. They need somewhere to go.
Somewhere to vent.
just to somewhere to vent. A robot's not going to do that.
No.
You know?
Kind of like your bar. I'm not a drinker, but kind of like your bartender.
Yep.
Somewhere you can go
exactly. Exactly.
Have you tried taking her flowers?
So exactly. So I guess being a barber, barbershops they ain't going nowhere. They're not going nowhere anytime soon.
No,
They'll
that would
never
be
be
like the
replaced.
last of the AI would. That'd be the last thing to take over, right? I mean, come on. How you gonna? I'm looking at your well trimmed beards. How you gonna do that? I mean, you can. I mean, they make all kinds of razors and
Yeah.
pieces, but if you want that, and then I see it when I go because that's a lot of younger kids over there as well. When I say kids, they're men primarily, but a lot of younger guys over there, and they're getting the shaves and the zips, and you were talking a little barber gibberish a while ago when you mentioned. When you did the blindfolded, you mentioned you went into.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? You went into a little barber gibberish there, barber lingo. The fade, the three, the this and that and the other. I don't understand that. Just cut it the way you did the last time. It looks pretty good. Because I don't have much up there. You know what? That's why I would kid Mike when he was over there, and he was there probably a good how long? 10 years, maybe.
Yeah, 10 years.
It's hard to believe Russ has been gone that long.
Yeah.
Russ was from upstate New York,
Buffalo, right?
near Buffalo, and he came out here as a kid, stayed out here his whole life. Then he retired and went back to Buffalo, and I'm like, "You're doing this backwards.
Yeah.
You're supposed to leave there and come here, and when you get old." But he went back.
I have a theory, and I've never heard too many people talk about this. I believe in when you get older, you have to go back to the same sea level of where you were born. So if you were born like me, I was born in California, so a little lower, and it makes me feel good when I go back there. I lived in Colorado for 21 years, and at the end of the day, my back, my joints, my head would hurt. When we moved here, at the end of the day, I feel a lot better.
Yeah.
So I feel like the older you get, you kind of got to go back to the same sea level of where you were raised to feel better.
Well, I'm not a
So
native.
maybe that's why.
I'm not a native of Arizona, but I got here as quick as I could.
Where were you born?
Southern Illinois. Not going back.
What's the elevation compared to here?
It's
Pretty much
probably,
the same?
Probably zero. I mean, there's flat.
Yeah.
There's a few rolling hills south of there, but southern Arizona, Illinois, up flat as a board, like Kansas. If you've ever been to Kansas,
I didn't like
flat.
Kansas,
It's flat. The Midwest is flat. A few rolling hills is the further south you get, more than into Kentucky and Tennessee. That's an interesting point, and I think there probably is some. I don't know if there's scientific proof to that. But
my mom was feeling terrible in Colorado, and here she feels
that higher elevation.
great.
Although right here we're probably, I know where I sleep in Earl Valley. We're at like 2,800 feet elevation, a little bit.
Yeah,
and we're probably 20 where we're at right now. Wouldn't you, Matt? 2,000 right now in
I think so, right?
Marana. Although it's flat right here, we're at a higher elevation than sea level for sure. In Phoenix, there's a spot that shows sea level. Remember, have you ever been there in that big water tank? Shows you where you're at sea level. So Phoenix itself is at sea level. And we're a little bit higher. You know where it happens? It happens at that rest area as you're leaving Phoenix and you're coming out of Riggs Road. You know what I'm talking about? That rest area where traffic always gets congested.
I think I know what you're talking about.
You know what? That's where it happens. And you know what? You can't tell it. You can't see it. But that's why it's always bogged down and clogged up in there, is because trucks, unless they know it, don't realize they're going up, because it's pretty flat still looking through there. But you're going up, and they get out in the left lane, and all it takes is one truck. And it's it's every time.
Yeah, that incline.
And it's still two lanes through there. That should have been the first place they started it. Opening it up. I mean, I love that we've got 3 lanes from here to beyond Casa Grande, but they should have worked the other way around. And then the other way, I hadn't been out that way in a while. That way we need 3 lanes going east on 10. Matter of fact, that road is the same road as it was 40 years ago. There's no shoulder. It's tight. It's bumpy. It's rough. And I'm like, we only got so much money and so much time.
Yep. I hate driving that way.
I hadn't been out that way in a while until a couple of weeks ago. Tammy and I went to Sonora, Patagonia and stuff. And I hadn't been out that way in years. Past Vail, say, for example. Why do you go that way? Just out of
We
curiosity.
would go to Patagonia,
Okay.
take the quads and stuff out there, but I didn't like it. We were out there. I got surprised by Border Patrol. I was like, what the heck is going on? And he's like, oh, Mexico's like right there. He's like, we got to patrol this whole area. I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So they kept an eye on it, like an eye on us the entire time. And I don't
Where
like that
were
feeling.
you at? The Border Patrol was where you were at?
Because
not
we
the
went
check
riding
station?
in. We went riding in somewhere, like, I don't know. I was following. We were just following somebody that's been over there all the time.
Yeah.
And we were just riding. And we just got caught off guard. And I was just like, and after that, they just kind of kept an eye on us the entire time. And I don't like being kept an eye on. Like, I'm not a child. I don't like that feeling. So I was like, this isn't for me. I was like, I'll go somewhere else. So we would usually go to Glamis to go and ride quads and stuff. But
you're right on the border. I mean, we came when we came out, we went on down to Nogales and came back up. So you're right on the border. A lot of open terrain there. But that's some wild. We thought we were going to a friend's ranch out in the middle of nowhere, dirt road kind of thing. Excuse me. And we got to a Y in the road. The Y in the road was where we needed to be. Actually, the ranch was right there, but GPS was telling us to go up the side of this mountain. I mean, it was about this wide. And I've done a lot of crazy driving off-road, narrow roads, big trucks, all kinds of stuff. So it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but nothing stupid. And we're like I say, it's one lane, and you can't see.
yeah.
So one lane going around in a circle, and you're going up and up and up, and there's nowhere to, at that point. Once you've committed, you're committed. There's no what am I going to do?
There's nowhere to
back
turn
down,
around.
you know. And so we finally got to, I guess, where the house was at, but we didn't. I was just more concerned about getting turned around, and it was at an angle like this. Still, again, the road's this wide. And I'm like probably 8.5 feet wide, and the road's 9, so I got like 3 inches on each side, and the driveway was, I don't know what, at a 30-degree angle. Took me 2 or 3 times spinning around. My wife was ready to get out of there.
Why'd he build a house up there?
You tell, but that wasn't as bad as that was, and I'm using the word bad deliberately. There was one on up, you could see, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful house, but it was another 1,000 feet up there, and I don't even know how you got there, because I kept turning this way unless you turn back that way at some point. And I'm
I had
like,
to do that on a side by side.
can you imagine that you live there?
No, thank you. No, thank you.
You
That's
just
not
have
for
to
me.
helicopter me in, because
Yep.
just drop me, just let me rappel down there. Beautiful house. That house up there was a mansion.
When your trip to Costco is an off-road adventure, that's too much. I'm good on that.
I enjoyed Patagonia, to tell you the truth. I really did.
It's nice.
We ate at the little restaurant there. I can't think of the name of it. The mayor owns it. It's right on the main street. The minute we got out of the vehicle, we knew people.
Yeah.
They come. I didn't recognize them, but they recognized. I'm sure.
Who don't you know?
Here they come at us hard. You know.
Yeah.
Like, oh, dude.
Well, you've been pretty involved in the community for a while,
Yeah,
so you
we
know
have.
a lot of people.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I'm blessed. It's all about relationships. My dear friend Ed Honey, the late Ed Honey, we talked about it all the time.
I was saying his last name wrong.
Honey.
I was saying Honea.
Yeah, a lot of people did.
Yeah.
People on TV.
Yeah.
But your net worth is your network. The people, and I don't mean that in networking like so much. I will say this: networking is important, but not your typical networking. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
The normal things that people would go, I got to go. It was a great networking event. I find those to be extremely boring and very, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to upset some people now. It's almost like there's a bunch of baby sharks at those type of events. Everybody's selling you whatever they're selling you, and no regard to what you do at all. Networking that I love to do is just large groups of people that are getting together for an event. It could be anything. And that's the networking I like to do because it's not 30-second canned speeches. No offense to the chamber.
I've always liked hanging out with people that don't need to push their product anymore.
I don't even want you to tell
Yeah.
me, hey, if I'm interested, tell me what you do, and then. But you don't even have to do that the first time because if we hit it off right, we're gonna find out what each other does. When you starting with, hey, I'm a barber, or I sell insurance, or I run a media company. If that's your opening line, I'm probably gonna just keep moving down the line.
You know, I don't even introduce myself as a barber or tell people like I cut hair. Like even at my church, you know, like I don't. A lot of people are like, "You cut hair?"
Yeah.
Like, well,
Yeah.
yeah. Why didn't you tell
Well,
me?
you know what?
Didn't really need to.
I'm glad you mentioned church because I know Craig, our senior pastor. He said, you know, he'll be on a flight with somebody for 7 hours, and finally it will get around to what do you do? And well, I'm a pastor. You know, I mean, so excuse me. He's had ample opportunity to say, I'm a pastor of the biggest church in my denomination in North America. He could say that and be factual, but that's not how he leads it. And for me, I'd rather get to know you. Let's just talk, and we'll figure it out what you do at some point in life, right?
Especially if it's going to be somebody that's going to be close to you. It's always how you start the relationship. If you start trying to peddle something,
you're right.
Then it ends up you end up not getting together.
Yeah.
You butt heads.
Yeah. You know, we've had Copper Creek cookies for 20 years.
Yeah. Still haven't tasted one.
Yeah, well, you know how to fix that.
I was tasting those delicious cinnamon rolls.
Yeah. Something's got to go when life continues to.
We're not doing any special batches anytime soon or nothing, man.
I got one thing I'm considering, but it's not till fall. So, yeah, you know, it's that was really cool. That opened a lot of doors for us, the cinnamon rolls. But I was the only one that really did them, and my time, I just couldn't afford the sacrifice time I need to build this to do that. So hey, I've learned, and you talk about barbering and you learn things as you listen. Here's what I've learned in my old age. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
And that's true in a lot of things in life. There's a lot of things you can do, but should you be doing that? You know, I mean, I'll give you the obvious. You can drink, but should you drink to excess? Well, the answer is always no on that. But for me, it's always best and highest use of property, value, time, etc. And I'm at that point in my life when my time is very valuable to me. I'm busy because I have less time than you do mathematically.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm going to be more selective of how I spend my time.
Talking kind of about that, going down that route, I was actually introduced myself to a Marana officer, and I told him, like, hey, who cut your hair? You know, you have a nice haircut. He's like, oh, well, I go and I walk in somewhere, and I was like, hey, I'm not trying to take you away from your shop.
Right.
But if you value your time, we go by appointments. Like, we'll get you in, get you out. We're punctual as we can be.
Yep.
Like, come on in, like, give us a try. If you ever need us, like, I'm not going to try and pull you away.
Right.
But if you're ever tight for time and you want to make an appointment, this is my information. Because that's what I've.
Up on it?
We'll see. I just did it.
Signed.
If any other, I know you have a big platform with a lot of the officers and stuff like that.
Do.
Like, yeah, and we like having them come in. We like having them come in because it's a very neutral territory. You've been, I mean, you've seen our shop.
Oh yeah.
Very neutral territory.
Yeah.
We don't get into anything deep. You know, we try and keep it light. But appointments is mine and Chaka's biggest thing.
Yeah.
Is you have your time. You're gonna come in. You're not gonna feel rushed. You're gonna feel like, oh, okay, this chair is mine for the next 30, 40, 50 minutes, whatever you blocked.
You know, that's the thing that Russ would never do. He didn't want appointments. Mike didn't do appointments until COVID. Then he kind of was forced into it. Then he was like, "Well, I'm never going back." For me, having a point now, I didn't need an appointment because I just, excuse me, over the last 17 years, I'd see nobody there. And at one point, there were a lot of barbers in there. Hey, I'm here if you got time. So I didn't have to have an appointment. But over here, I prefer an appointment. Now, he's not always right. I mean, you know, maybe the guy is a little bit late, maybe getting there. Maybe it takes a little longer. But there's a long leisure time. I appreciate that. Mike, bless his heart, at the end was not that way. You were in and out, which there's some degree of speed is, you know, I'm in and out of there in 10 minutes. We're gone.
Last week I had a guy come in and he's like, well, Mike used to cut my hair and I would get done in 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, I appreciate that, but I'm not going to do you in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Let me take my time. Let me do it. It only took like 15 minutes to do his hair.
Yeah.
But that extra little attention to detail and I mean straight razor, you know, really nothing really up here. But
talking to him a little bit, getting to know him.
Didn't rush him out of the chair.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And he's like, I like this.
Yeah.
He's like, I really like this. And I think we're getting more and more people that are figuring that out, that it may be a little different. We may seem younger. It might seem like a little scary to come in and like, now I got to make an appointment and they're going to charge me more or something. We don't even charge much more than Great Clips, honestly.
Yeah. What do you charge?
30.
Okay.
Seniors are 25. Kids are 25. And 30 is for a regular haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love you guys being here. You guys are a huge asset.
Yeah.
To our neighborhood here. This and I will tell you this, having been in this plaza for 17 years, right now is the best it's ever been as a plaza.
Wow.
It's been, you know, there were times when in the 08, 09, there wasn't anybody even here. Yeah. The ones that were here were, no offense, were the Russes that were just playing out the string. And I would, you know me, I'm pretty straightforward and outspoken. And 16, 17 years ago, I was a little younger than I am now. I'm like, why don't you just go now? Sell your business and move on. Go on, do your thing. Because quite frankly, you're not benefiting we're not working together. You know, just if you're done, leave. And there was a lot of those. And now you look, every spot in this plaza is full, primarily young people that are excited and are building their business. That gives us some juju. Yeah. That gives all of us some, we're you know what I mean? As opposed to just, I can't wait to get out of here mentality. Yeah. And there were a lot of them when we first moved in.
I feel like me and Shaka have brought a lot of traffic through here.
You have.
And what I like is that they're venturing out and seeing what's in here.
You have, without a doubt.
They go with Desiree, Forget Me Not. She said in the 10 years that Mike was here, not one client from there went and got flowers.
Yeah.
In the first week we were here, 2 people went and got flowers.
Yeah.
He keeps buying flowers for his wife. He needs to get out of the doghouse, but...
Hey, but you get out, stay out, man. Come on, man.
I'm just kidding. I just throwing him under the
bus. But you know what? 100%. 100%. That was because my thing with us being here, we should all be supportive of each other. And when I used to be referred to as the mayor of Sun Creek Plaza. Self-proclaimed, by the way. And people would introduce me as that. People would I was one time down the street. Long story short, and it was Tony and her mom, Elaine, were down there because when I met them, they're like, "Oh, you're the mayor." I'm like, who you been talking to? You know. So I was down at Outback Steakhouse when it was still open, and. You know how you'd wait in that little foyer there when you'd get in? Tony was there, and I'm talking about Warden's Physique back here, and Elaine, and that family, and my mother was there, and we were celebrating, I think, my son-in-law's birthday, and my mom was talking about Ed Honey, the mayor. She was who she was talking about, and Elaine, Tony's mom, goes, well, there's the mayor right there. I told him, I said, Ed, I'm giving the job back. It doesn't pay enough. Everybody
doesn't.
Everybody just complains and wants me to solve problems. But my point in saying that was there was a lot of time that I would try to like get out and get everybody working together and being fluid and sharing each other's information. They didn't want any part of it.
If it doesn't happen naturally, you can't force it.
Well, you can't, but we should at least know what each other's doing over there.
Yeah.
Because if I can refer haircuts or a massage or Skinology or Anton or the paint store, that's my responsibility, especially if I'm the mayor. I need to be promoting everybody, right? I mean,
yeah.
And and then when the road was closing, I felt it was even more vital that not only we as a plaza, but all of us. And, you know, I've discovered that just so many people just didn't give a crap about that at all. They were and guess what? They didn't make it.
Yeah.
The ones that just couldn't care less about. I even had one person when the road was closing tell me why. I'm ignoring that, hoping that goes away. And I'm like, well, it's not going to.
Yeah.
And you know what? They were the first person when it happened.
Yeah,
they'll close their doors.
They were trying to survive it on their own.
And you can't do it.
Do that. Yeah.
No, you got it. What did I say earlier? Your net worth is your net worth.
Mm-hmm.
The people you know. When Ed would come in, he would go in. David would do a lot of the engineering when Ed and I was out here, and he'd go in. And Ed was such a sweet guy, but he'd go, David, you need to work a little more on your relationships, there, buddy. You kind of suck at them. Well, he knew what he was talking about. Ed Honey, and I'll say this about it. I've said it all the time. Introduced me to 1,000 people that I love having in my world today, and there was everybody from, some guy wearing a bib overalls in Marana to elected officials at the state, and everybody in between that you can imagine. And that is such a valuable resource that he and my mother the same way that they left us. So, guys, when you talk about you want to spend time with your clients and get to know them better, that's the best way to build a business that I can think of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just spending that extra, because you're going to be spending 30 minutes in between anyway. I mean, when you probably schedule a haircut, you do it in 30-minute increments.
Yeah, 30 and up.
Because it's depending on what it's going to be. I mean, you already know what.
Well, as soon as you get into a conversation, time just somehow I think it doesn't go by. To be honest, time just kind of shrinks in a little bit, and then somehow everything just falls into place. And that's the best thing about it being a barber. You meet new people, you meet everybody around you, and each story just comes to life.
Yeah,
and
it's great contacts too.
Oh yeah, well,
great contacts.
The best thing I love about my job is that you have fathers that come in, and then they're just going through some stuff, and then for some reason, somehow, when they're in the barber chair, you're not even trying to open up something serious or anything, but somehow they just boom and then just drop it, right? That's the best part, I guess. Or actually, no, that's the best part about being a barber.
You're gonna have to start charging more for your haircuts.
Well,
I think it's gonna start coming back, honestly, because I mean, barbers have been. You've heard of the barbers that are charging like a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I feel it's going to get back to a point where they're going to start looking for people like me and Chaka that are like, look, I just need a regular haircut.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for like no frills.
Yeah.
I'm tired of paying $60, $70 for a haircut.
Yeah.
Like, let me find a regular shop.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. You've walked into our shop.
Yeah.
It's called the Barber Studio for a reason.
Yeah.
You walk in and it feels like a nice studio. There's couches. It's comfy.
Oh, it's comfortable. More comfortable than it's ever been. It was. I don't want to get into what was going on before. That's all history anyway. But it really has that good vibe about it. It really does.
Feels homey.
And there's a lot of shops along here.
Yep.
And they keep turning and flipping and turning.
And you can walk into every single one of those shops, and mine is still different than all of those.
Absolutely.
Because we focus on comfort. I'm not saying that the other barbers are bad. No, I'm never gonna say that, because I want unity between barbers so that we can talk to each other and know when there's a bad seed in the barber community.
Yeah.
And like we know of one especially. We're not gonna say his name, but word gets around and you burn that barber so he stays out of your area. so that you can
You're
continue
protecting
to,
the community at that point.
Yeah, you protect everybody else.
Hey, I'm gonna come back to something there in a second, and we're running out of time. But
Okay.
I want to come back to what I just said. When you're giving advice, or maybe not even giving advice, but giving that guy sitting in the chair an opportunity to just unwind, relax, because there's a lot of times that 30 minutes I'm in the chair is the only time during that course of that day that I just get to chill. Mm-hmm. And when I said you're going to have to charge more, it's kind of like we used to say about the cinnamon rolls. Because everybody, you know what people have referred to that shop as? Like a small town barber shop where everybody comes and goes and talks and shares, and they will walk through that door and share everything with you over a cookie or a cinnamon roll. And back in the day when we used to do a lot of food stuff too. And I'd say, look, the cookies / cinnamon rolls / food items are reasonably priced, but when I got to start doing mental and psychological profiles and stuff with you, prices are going to go up a bunch. So if you're dumping a bunch of heavy stuff on me, be careful, because I'm going to raise the price of the cinnamon rolls to accommodate that.
Put up a sign right at the shop. It says extra for psychology.
Yeah. Mental evaluations. I'm going to charge a little more. Well, it's been a pleasure, guys.
It's been awesome, man.
Hey, you've talked about this. I'm going to leave. Shay, we're getting ready to wrap up, so just give you a heads up. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, you have talked about doing a podcast.
Oh, well, I used to.
Okay.
I tried to start it, and this happened during COVID. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, some things that involves my dad.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, passed away.
Yeah.
And then everything just kind of went downhill from there.
Well, here's what I'm throwing out there. The Barber Studio should sponsor you to do a podcast like
Whoa.
and play on our radio station.
Am I getting a phone call?
Yeah. No, here's what I'm thinking though. I think that would actually be, and you guys would do it together. I think it'd be really cool. You don't want to come in and share people's secrets. That's not what I'm saying at all.
No.
But wouldn't it be cool to kind of like have? I'm trying to think of some catchy, stories from the barber studio or something like that. That there could be like. And here's the cool thing for you, Joe. It'd be almost like, it'd cost some money, but it'd be great marketing for your company. So I'm just doing that. I'm kind of spitballing. I'm not trying to do a sale. That's not really, although that I am, I guess, without thinking about it. But I think the stories would be, because I hear other stories when I'm in the shop. I'm like, wow, that'd be kind of a cool platform to talk about some of this stuff without revealing people.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to share any secrets because that's it's kind of like your barber, your pastor, your psychologist. Those should be secret conversations you're having. But
You never know. You could be having if it does were to happen, you never know. You might be saying some kind of a message, right?
Yeah.
And someone's just so happy to pass through that message.
Yeah.
And hey, you never know. It might
Well,
actually speak to them.
And that's kind of what I'm referring to. You said it better than I did. It's not so much telling the ha-ha story so much, although that'd be fun. But it'd be like, because here's what we're on, and I'm going to leave with this. There's a lot of guys around here. We have a lot of the stuff we do that's male-oriented. The reason why it is, I'm a guy. We got females, but a lot of the guys and it's to hold other guys accountable.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the issues that we have as a society, let me rephrase that. All the issues we have as a society is because men have quit being men. I'm going to leave it there. That's just we got to man up more in our families and our communities.
Amen.
So okay, guys. We'll have to reschedule and get you guys back in here some more. We went a little long, but I felt like we had a little bit more we needed to discuss.
Oh, we could be here for hours.
So tell people how they find you. Tell phone numbers, websites, locations, etc.
Easiest way: download the Booksy app. I'm on there as Barber Joe.
Same thing, Booksy app. I'm under Chaka the Barber.
It's the easiest way to see our schedule. If anything, you can Google the Barber Studio, and our phone number's on there. You can get a hold of us. I think my cell phone's still on there. I got to change it to the shop.
Hey, and
we're there.
We're at Ein and Old Father. If you happen to be cruising down Einer or Old Father and just want to check these guys out. They're in the back. Just come straight back from Nico's, and you'll basically run into them.
Exactly.
And I highly recommend it, especially like you said, if you don't already have a barber that you're digging, or maybe it's time for a change, or maybe your guy moved. I'd give these guys a shot for sure.
We
Or
stay
your
busy
barber's
for
busy.
a reason. We stay busy for a reason.
Yeah, they
know?
are.
Or if your barber's busy, check us out as well. We'll be that backup as well.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening. Again, hope all you mothers had a great Mother's Day yesterday. We love all you guys. You guys are the rock. Even though we're holding guys accountable, we couldn't do it without our mothers. We know that. Hey, guys, be nice to each other. It's just not that hard if you try. We'll see you next week with another episode of Local Marana.